worldwide interweb through a website that's called HowlRound. HowlRound is dedicated, well, they do a lot of things. They post critical essays on the state of American theater, and they also will allow organizations like ours to stream the show across the universe to anybody who might like to watch. So please join me in welcoming the universe to Flint Youth Theatre. Finally, we're having a discussion today after the show. We had one before, and we'll have one after as well. We'll have after the show is done today, we're going to have a short reception out in the lobby. And then when the reception is done, we're going to come back and we're going to have a discussion about art in times of crisis, using this particular play as something of a jumping off point to have that discussion. We have a guest moderator with us, Ms. Courtney Sale from Indiana Repertory Theater, who will be guiding that discussion. And you're all welcome to stay if you'd like to join us for that discussion. And so, with that, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Flint Youth Theatre. And now we are very proud to present a collaborative performance that we have generated with our friends at Tapology and Raise It Up Youth Arts and Awareness. And together, we present to you the most blank city in America.
Flint Youth Theatre in our production, The Most Blank City in America. When you enter the lobby today, you should have received a card with the title of our play on both sides in a pencil. We'd like you to take that out now. We've been developing this play over the last year with the help of many of you. We've had conversations all across the city of Flint about words we've heard and words we use to describe the city. On your card, we'd like you to fill in the blank space with the word you've heard to describe the city, or maybe it's a word you use yourself. I'm sure many of you know that our city is often called a lot of different things. So let's hear them. You can be as honest as you like. Once you have your word written on your card, please share it with us. One of my friends and I will write it on our Flint rock. Thank you.
Are there any words over here?
Sure. Does anyone have a word? Now please hold on to your card as you'll need it again later. Now we're going to continue with our show. We began in this place in a time before Flint was called Flint. Thank you.
And don't call your sister names. Any action?
Not yet.
It'll happen, just be patient. Michael, don't stand so close.
I'm not gonna fall in.
It's not that. Your shadow, the fish will know we're here.
When do I get on?
You'll get one.
She always gets longer than I do not. You do.
Enough, both of you. Or I'll take you both home.
Grandpa,
Yeah?
does this river have a name?
Of course.
It's the Flint River, you idiot. I told you not to call me that.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Both of you. Give me that. You, go there. You, right here.
Why do you only have one rod?
So that we can all learn and share.
Why do you have to share though? He's the one who dropped you with that rod. I didn't drop it. There was a giant fish pulling. You're such a liar. Shut up.
Both of you better shut up. Well, I mean it. I'll take you both home and we won't stop for ice cream.
Not in this Flint River. No one ever told me. But
TT.
so was Flint named after the river?
Well,
No! Who was named after Flint? What? Well, sort of. We learned about it last year. Miss Stevens did a whole thing on Native Americans. She told us how to live here before white people came and took their land away and killed them. Typical.
what else did she teach you?
Native Americans used flints, the stone out of the city, to make weapons and arrowheads. Awesome. Yeah, and the word for arrowhead was
The Wanagon.
Yeah, that's it.
And because there was so much flint they found around in this area, they call it the Wanagon, which means
A flinty place.
You know, you ought to listen to your sister a little more. You might learn a thing or two.
We went on a field trip looking for arrowheads. Miss Stevens said you can still find them. I want an arrowhead.
Well, why don't you go dig in the dirt for a while? Maybe you'll find them.
He's not gonna find anything around here. It's all concrete.
Well, let him try. What's wrong, TT?
Nothing.
You sure? You're not yourself today.
What does that even mean?
Something you want to talk about?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
What was that name Michael was calling you before?
Bettina. You know, Bettina. Said on lunch at school last week and everyone saying it.
Well, you'll be in high school next year. You won't have to see so much of Michael. And you'll be a Central Indian like your mom and dad. And me.
Central's gonna close.
But that's not going to happen.
Why do I have a stupid name?
Name is not stupid. It's a beautiful name. Just like your grandmother. That's why you were named after her.
I know
forcing you to keep it. If you want a new name, just pick a new name. But you ought to remember, you were given that name for a reason.
Yes, make fun of me for the rest of my life. And it's not funny.
I'm sorry. Michael, don't go too far now. Why do you say you're not beautiful?
Because not. I'm short. My legs are too thick. I have to wear these stupid glasses, and my hair never does what I want it to.
Oh, it's just an awkward phase. You'll grow out of it.
What if I don't, though? I'm going to be a freshman in a few months, and
And what?
what if the older kids bully me?
They might. I've been called all kinds of names before, wicked, evil names, but just remember, when people call you names and say mean things about you, it's probably because they don't think too much of themselves. And maybe they don't really believe anyone really loves them. At least you know you're loved. Right? Want to hear a story?
Not really.
Well, too bad. Because I'm going to tell you one anyway.
Go on, man.
There once were two brothers who were kings, and they ruled over a land that was equally divided in two parts.
How come our stories have to be about kings?
It's just a story, Titi.
I know. Why can't there be two queens instead?
Would you like for there to be two queens?
I don't care. I'm just pointing out that all your
Okay.
stories
So, there were two queens who were sisters. And the oldest queen would make all the people of her land spend every day their time searching for precious stones, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and diamonds. So they did. And at the end of every day, they would line up and they would present what they found to the queen. Well, this went on for years and years, and this queen amassed a huge collection of these precious stones, which she used to decorate her palace. When the sun shone on her palace, it sparkled so much that it was known as the Dancing Palace. Well, this queen became incredibly rich, and her people were very proud people. Now, the younger sister was very different from her older queen. Although when she too asked her people to look for stones, she wasn't interested in rubies or sapphires or emeralds and diamonds. She was only interested in one kind of rock. Can you guess what that was?
No. Flint?
Correct. So, the youngest queen's subjects did as they were asked. Every day they would spend their time searching for pieces of flint. At the end of every day, they would line up and present what they found to the queen. Well, this went on for years and years, and this queen amassed a huge collection of these stones. However, her palace wasn't decorated like her sister's. It didn't sparkle in the sun, it certainly didn't dance. Over the years, this palace deteriorated. It was dark and gloomy, and because it resembled the mud where they found the pieces of flint, it was known as the Mud Palace. Now, even though the younger sister was still a queen, she was not very well.
Wait a minute. Am I like the Mud Palace?
It's just a metaphor.
Yeah, I know what a metaphor is. Thanks a lot.
Will you let me finish the story?
Go on, then.
All right. There were two queens, two palaces.
And one was pretty and one was ugly.
However, after many years, a terrible winter plagues the land. A winter unlike any winter anyone had ever known before. The sun never shined as the clouds covered the sky, and every day the bitter wind would blow, and snow covered both palaces. Well, the dancing palace didn't dance anymore, and the oldest queen's subject became cold and sad, and many did not survive the brutal winter. But it was a different story for the youngest queen. When the brutal winter came, she returned all the pieces of flint to the people, and they used those pieces of flint to make fire, and they kept the fires burning throughout the whole winter. Now, it was still known as the Mud Palace, and it was dark and gloomy, but the fires that burned inside and around it made it glow, and they continued to glow until spring came, and the youngest queen's subjects became proud, and they all survived the brutal winter. That's the end of the story. What do you think?
I heard better.
Hey, it's an action there. Hold on tight.
Well, what did I do?
I'll reel it in. Michael, get back here. Anybody out here?
Found this. Caspatina! I'm gonna kill you!
Discarded, crowned,
and poisoned,
strong, but dangerous,
ferocious,
Flint.
I am misunderstood,
resilient,
Underestimated, creative, collapsing. I am Flint.
I am Flint.
I am Flint. I am segregated and tired.
I am vibrant and tenacious.
Blighted and broken,
Angry and struggling.
still struggling.
I am the hope that holds on and on.
I am Flint.
I remember,
I remember.
swimming at Burston Fieldhouse,
Summers at Mount Camp.
I am complex.
I remember Central High School.
Northern High School,
community education for
For
all,
all.
I am cold.
I remember sit-down strikes and negotiation.
I am workers
and fighters.
Riding my bike in Nethercutt Creek.
Freshly baked bread from the Balkan Bakery.
I am betrayed.
Marching in the band in the Juneteenth parade.
walking to school down Lavender Avenue,
I am
And
haunted.
I remember Mitchell's grocery store.
late skates at Skate Lab.
I
am
but do not fear. I am Mr. Wright, and this is my colleague.
Mr. Wright.
Oh, and we are here to help you in your time of need.
My colleague, Mr. Wright, and I represent an organization called Lily White Image Solutions Incorporated. And we are in the business of helping failing desperate cities all across America improve their image and brand.
Times are tough here in Flint, Michigan. This community has been plagued with all kinds of problems for many years.
The loss of jobs, decrease in population, crime, blight, drug use, violence, tattoos, and taco trucks.
And of course, the more recent water crisis, which has once again put Flint in the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. In times like these, drastic action must be taken.
That's right, Mr. Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. It is time for this community to let go of its troubled past and embrace its bright future.
Indeed. And that is why we are here today to help make Flint white again.
Right again!
Right. Yes, right again.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Anyways, that is why the time has come for the city of Flint to change its name. Now, of course, this type of decision should not be made lightly, and it should be made collectively with input from the stakeholders of this community and those who still call this place home.
And that is why you are here today, to help us decide what this place wants to call itself.
Before we hear from you, however, my colleague and I would like to share some of our research in order to better understand why a change of name is so desperately needed.
We began our research where most solid, reputable research begins on Google.
We typed Flint, Michigan is into their search engine, and just look what the top results are. In what county? Dangerous, mostly black, and last of all, ghetto.
Their words, not ours.
But moving on, as we continued our research, we found that when you mention the name Flint, Michigan, outside of this region, or state for that matter, most people automatically think of Michael Moore's 1989 film, Roger and Me.
While this film may have intended to shine a light on some of the social and economic issues plaguing Flint at the time, the impact of this film gave Flint a reputation it is still unable to shake even today.
More recently, in 2009, Forbes magazine listed Flint in its top 10 most miserable cities in America.
And in 2010, 2011, and 2012, Flint ranked #1 in Business Insider's list of most dangerous cities in America.
In 2011, the New York Times described Flint as Murder Town, USA.
And in 2013, Policy Mike published an article originally titled, "This is America's Most Apocalyptic Violent City," and you probably never heard of it, which included the following quote. Flint now drowns in the hell that has become much of America's Rust Belt.
Oh my.
Now, we understand this is a sensitive issue. After all, names are incredibly important.
But if we want people to have a positive impression of this place, if we want this community to be attractive to attractive young people with their coffee drinks and their bicycles,
if we want local business to not just survive but thrive, if we want new jobs, we need to shed this negative image that continues to hold us back. So now, we want to hear from you.
what should we rename this place?
If you have a suggestion, please make your way up to the microphone to share your ideas.
My colleague will record your suggestions on our flip chart here, and together we will find a new name that describes the type of community we all want to live in. And we have our first suggestion.
Hello.
Hello, please don't be shy.
Okay, well, I have 3 daughters, and I named them all after flowers because I think flowers are beautiful, and all my children are beautiful to me.
That's lovely.
So I thought maybe we can change the name to a type of flower.
Excellent idea. Any particular kind?
I don't know. There's just too many to choose from.
Okay, well, you keep thinking about that and let us know if you decide on one. Anyone else?
Hi. So I've noticed that a lot of places around here have French-sounding names.
Say Bray.
Excuse me?
It's true. You're correct.
Right. Well, I don't think we should have a French name. Because this is America, you know. But those names do sound sort of sophisticated. And I think we should choose a name that sounds more sophisticated.
Did you get that, Mr. Wright?
I'm writing it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Well, I think our name should acknowledge the rich history of this community.
I hear your concerns. However, there's a lot of Flint's past that has given it the reputation it so badly needs to shed.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps our new name should focus on our future and not our past.
I guess that's a good idea.
I know. Anyone else?
All right, so this is Genesee County, and traditionally, Flint's considered like the center of the county, although a lot of folks don't seem to like that. I already know that there's a Genesee, but maybe we can be a Genesee City or something like that.
Genesee. Oh, I've got it. What about Genesis?
Genesis, yes, that's a good one.
It sounds like Genesee, but it's new, exciting, and biblical.
Yes, Genesis means beginning, and this is a new beginning for this
Okay,
community.
that's not
Thank
really
you.
what
Let's keep the
happened.
great ideas coming.
Well, I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I realized that our cities and towns have names like Haven or Meadow or Dale. Perhaps we could do something like that?
Haven. I like the sound of that.
Like a safe haven.
Exactly. A word like that would make people feel like this is a safe place to live.
But I don't really feel very safe here.
But a new name might change that.
Actually, I don't think it would be.
Okay, let's hear from someone else.
Hello there. So I don't think this will be a very popular idea, what with all the water woes and everything, but I think the river is still really important to this community. After all, that's the reason there's a city here. Our founder, Jacob Smith, he put a trading post here and called it Grand Traverse, because that's what this part of the river was called back then.
Fascinating.
And you know, it sounds sort of like, oh, Traverse City. Oh, and it's real nice up there. Celebrities go there all the time. And not just because the water is poisoned and they want to help people. They go there for actual vacations.
Vacations? Now that's the sort of creative thinking we're looking for here.
Did I win?
You won. We want to pick a name that sounds like a destination, a place people dream of visiting, of one day living in, a place where their dreams can become a reality.
All right, can you just stop all this, please?
All what? I think we're on quite a roll here. What's your suggestion, young lady?
I don't have one.
Oh, okay. Well, perhaps you should take a seat and give another community member an opportunity.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not playing around here. This is not a part of the show.
Show? What on earth are you talking about?
Seriously, Layla, just stop all of this, will you?
Layla? Don't you mean Mr. Ray?
No. I don't. I'm sorry, I know I should have said this something sooner before the last show, but this whole part of the show is really bothering me. Maddie, I'm sorry, can I just say something so I can, please, can I say something, please?
Please keep going. Layla, can you take it from, does anyone else have something they'd like to say?
Thank you. Does anyone else have something they'd like to say?
Hello again. I spoke earlier about flowers and my daughters. Well, I've been thinking, and I thought that daffodils are quite nice. They're growing in spring, and spring's about renewal and new birth. And you know, winter has ended. If maybe naming the city something to do with daffodils might suggest that winter, which is all like the bad times in Flint, is finally over, and Flint spring has finally, you know, sprung or something like that.
Okay, so daffodils! Did you get that, Mr. Wright?
I did, Mr. Wright.
Okay, thank you. You know, I do like what you said about winter and spring. This is a time of rebirth and renewal for Flint. So maybe there's
I'm sorry. I just really have something to say. Can I get the house lights up, please?
House lights go.
Thank you. I've given it some thought, and I don't agree with this part of the show. So I'm staging a protest.
Are you crazy?
No, none of the people that feels this way either. Enrique does, don't you?
What do you mean you don't agree with this part of the show?
Aren't you going to join me? We talked about this.
Yeah, but I didn't really think you'd do it.
It's satire. We don't really believe what we're saying.
Okay, Lele, are you okay?
I'm fine.
It's okay, everyone. Hi, in the internet world. We're gonna clean this up and take it from the top of the next scene.
No.
Hey, this is very unprofessional.
With all due respect, why do you need to back us?
Sweetie, it's okay.
No, you two need to sit down somewhere.
What's going on out
Oh,
here?
very
No.
Who's destroying the props?
Really? Lele. What is it that you want?
Yeah, now that you have everyone's attention, what was so important that you had to stop the whole scene?
Thank you,
The
Mark.
whole scene.
Mark.
Please. I don't know. It's hard to say.
How do you mean?
I guess I didn't really think this through.
Really?
Well, I want to say something, but I'm always on my opinion doesn't matter.
If you have something to say, you should say it.
Thank you.
Enrique, what were you two talking about?
We just talked about this scene and how it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's a
Not
conversation.
meant to be taken serious.
Yeah. Have you seen my wig? It's a joke.
I know it's a joke, but maybe it isn't as funny as we think. I mean, this kind of stuff really happens and it upsets people. That's what we talked about.
We know that. The whole point of this scene is to show how, in the past, efforts to fix or change Flint haven't really taken into account the opinions of the people who really live there.
And when we talk about fixing or changing the city, it's not actually for the people.
No, you know what, George? You don't actually live in the city.
So if you don't live here, you don't get an opinion.
That's not what I'm
I don't
saying.
think you are.
And George does spend all his time.
I know, and that doesn't mean
But it
that-
is different when you live here.
I live here.
I know. The question of who gets to speak for the city is messed up. I mean, people think because I'm not white or black that I can't be from here and have an opinion.
A lot of people say it's not safe for someone like me.
Stop it! This isn't what I wanted. Okay. So this scene, it won't do anything. Changing the name of the city is a distraction from the bigger things going on here. That's what I wanted to say!
Yes, okay, talk about that.
It's a distraction from the water crisis, poverty, violence, and our messed up education system.
So can we please keep going now?
But this play doesn't really address any of that. Now, watch us during rehearsals and for weeks now. I just think we need to talk about this.
So why didn't you say anything sooner?
I mean, he has a point.
I don't know!
It's hard to think about this stuff all the time. It's overwhelming.
Exactly!
And I feel like what? I'm a bad Flint kid? Because I don't always want to talk about it.
Right.
I don't know what to do with it. And most of the time, I don't know what to say. But I agree that this scene is messed up.
Well, this scene is about the importance of names and how a lot of people here are really attached to the name and what it represents.
Well, it's a little late in the process to rewrite the whole show.
Thank you.
Can we please just continue?
Okay, I know what you mean, Enrique. Alright, I do. People always assume that just because I'm Flint, I must take this for stuff.
But we do!
I understand. My name is not.
So why does this play address any of that? It's something else stupid about changing the name of the city. We don't need no documented mission.
It's not even about that anymore. It's about you just because it's what you want. No, okay. Why would you have to change this? Layla, why would you?
So I'm standing here, trying to listen to what everyone thinks of the play. And I get it. We're tired of people people calling our city names and saying cruel things about us. But guess what? This is our city. Flint is one of the most violent, miserable, desperate cities in America. Okay, sure. We don't want that to be the only thing that defines us, but we can't ignore it either. We have to own it. But I get it. Trying to just be here, to exist here, it's exhausting. Trying to be a part of something good, something bigger than you, and it feels like everyone's just ready to take from you or write you off as a lost cause. It's hard. I mean, I want to be here. I try to stay engaged. I try to defy the stereotype of a disaffected youth. I try to keep up with all the politics as best as I can, but lately I just keep thinking to myself, how did it get this bad? And I know there's a lot of people in this town, in this room even, who are trying to save Flint. But Flint doesn't stop at Fifth Avenue. I mean, I know there's a lot of people here who are trying to improve the city, if I consider myself one of those people, but sometimes, I don't know. I meet people that are so passionate about this town, about this community, but then you ask them if they ever step foot outside of downtown and it gets quiet real quick. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know. I try to really listen to where they're coming from, even if I know I'm going to disagree, but I'm just tired. I feel like it's really easy to complain about how people don't know the real Flint. Well, you know what? Maybe you don't, and maybe I don't either. And sure, there's a lot of good stuff going on here, and we should celebrate that loudly. We should talk about all the stuff going on downtown, and the colleges, and the culture center, and all of that. But when can we talk about the violence? We can try. But if we're doing making Flint, we're told to make Flint look bad to us want to move here, open a business, or whatever. Look, we can't ignore the fact that there are some people out here dying for some of the dumbest reasons. Kids and their grandmothers getting shot, and for what? And now we have a whole generation of kids whose lives are going to be ruined because our government wanted to save some money. We already knew most people in the state didn't like us, but I didn't realize we were considered so unnecessary. So now, all eyes are on Flint and our crumbling infrastructure, and our government's failure to protect us. I don't know about you, but I never feel like they were protecting us. But now, people from all over, they want to help us. They bring water, they tweet about us, and that's cool. We need your help. We need clean water. Please, make some attention to the crisis. And I know it's so grateful for me to say this. But what the hell took so long? Where was the attention and outrage for kids? My friends were getting killed. Where's it when our schools was closing? Where's it when kids are looking at the past that Thursdays on the way home from school? Where's it when kids have to go to school straight to prison? What happens to all the reporters, presidential candidates leagues? What happens then? When the pipes get fixed? What then? We'll still be going to too many candlelight vigils for all the brag, junk selling lives that we lost. We can go to City Hall and demand
You're the only one who still calls me that.
Always have, always will. A penny for your thoughts.
Ugh.
You haven't decided yet. You know how I feel about it.
Yes, you made your opinion very clear.
Well, you're going to have to make a choice eventually.
I know.
Come on. My little Titi, a doctor.
Not yet.
But you'll be a PhD, right?
If I decide to go, California is a long way away.
And it's one of the best programs in the country, right?
It is.
Just think of all the sun. No more Michigan winters.
Any action?
Don't change the subject.
I'm not. Okay, maybe I am.
No. Not really.
I'm surprised people are still fishing here.
Well, we are. You want to try? For old time's sake.
Sure.
Dr. Patina Smith. Got a nice ring to it.
I'd be a professor.
PhD. Dr. TT.
I don't know about that one.
So, tell me when folks ask, what do I tell them to study?
I've told you this before, and it still isn't set in stone.
Oh, my memory isn't as good as it used to be.
Linguistics.
Linguistics? I was going to say that.
Sure you were.
The study of language, right?
Correct.
But not like foreign, like Spanish.
Right again.
I think I can remember that. You know what? I'm going to write it down. Just so I won't forget it. Linguistics. Study of language, but not languages.
Just tell people I'm studying words.
Words.
Yeah, words.
Words. I like that. again. You know, this is nice. I can't remember the last time we did this.
I'm sorry, I've been so busy with the after-school program. We've doubled enrollment since last year.
It's great.
And now I'm coordinating water distributions at the church, so...
Oh, you don't have to apologize. I know you're busy. I mean, you always are. I'm just saying that this is nice.
It is.
Michael would want you to go, you know.
Don't say that.
Well, he would. You know, you were always better at fishing than him.
That's because I used to haul the rod all the time.
No. Compared to him, you were better at a lot of things.
Grandpa.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, we both made choices. I'm only talking to one of you right now.
It's not that simple, though.
Or it's not.
I don't think so.
I mean, you chose not to go to school. He chose to run with those kids. He chose his
It
path.
was different for him. Gods were always stacked against him. They still are for kids like him.
And they weren't stacked against you.
Maybe.
You chose the streets. You chose college. It's just
He
that
didn't
simple.
choose to die.
No, I guess he did.
When he and I were really little, and we still had to share a room, at night before we would go to sleep, we would talk about what it would be like when we got older, who we were going to be, the kinds of things we would do. I was going to be a fashion designer, and he was going to be a fireman or a basketball player. Neither of us wanted to stay here, though. We knew that much.
What's this all about?
Ever since I can remember, I have wanted to...
Get the hell out of this place.
Yeah. And now I have the chance to do exactly that.
And you don't want to go.
I don't know. Part of me does. I applied this program on a whim. I didn't even think they'd accept me.
But they did.
I know. Now I feel guilty.
Guilty?
Yes. Michael never had a chance like this. And what if I go and it's horrible and I screw up?
Now you and I both know that's not going to happen.
And there's such a great need here. I started the after-school program for kids just like Michael. We just secured funding for the second phase of the literacy project, and we're starting to see some great results. Maybe now is not the time to go.
Shut up.
Excuse me?
I said shut up. You've already done more than most people do around here. And I don't want to hear you going on about how you feel guilty about leaving either. I mean, you can feel that way if you want. I mean, you're entitled to that. But if you're going to sit here and fish with me, I don't want to hear it.
But...
You've worked too hard to feel guilty about where you got and where you're going. You're one of our success stories. Do you realize how important that is? These folks around here, those kids you work with, they all need stories like yours.
But...
So if you want to throw away the opportunity of a lifetime, when you go in, but you remember one thing, you're going to be letting a lot of people down. Do you hear me?
Yeah. Do you remember when we were here and you told Michael about arrowheads and he spent the rest of the day looking for one?
Yes, I do. Did he ever find one?
No, but he looked for weeks afterwards at park, at the school, in the neighbor's backyard, practically anywhere he could.
So So, what is it, teacher?
Eventually, he gave up. But before he did, the way he searched, I don't remember him ever taking anything else so seriously. He had this fervor for it. Anyway, I don't know why. I guess kept thinking about that a lot after he died. I guess I like to remember him that way. So I decided I would find him one, an arrowhead. I looked it up online and I found out where the best places to go to look for one were. And on the weekends, I go searching. Just me. It took a while, but eventually I found one.
I'll be. When you look at that, I bet this thing is worth something.
Maybe.
You telling anyone else about this?
No. I want it to be our thing. Michael and I.
So, why are you telling me that?
I should go.
So soon?
I have a grant due tomorrow.
Oh well. If my TT doesn't want to hear a story from her grandpa, fine.
Only if it's a short one.
I'll try my best. Once there was a girl who didn't like her name. She didn't like her hair. She didn't like the glasses that she had to wear all the time. Matter of fact, this girl didn't like herself at all. Don't interrupt. Thank you. This girl was bullied in school. People would say mean and cruel things about her name, about the way she looked, about the things she liked. And this went on for quite some time. The girl heard these things so often that she began to believe they were true. This made her very sad. So sad that she began to forget about all the things that made her special, but all the things that made her unique. These things she kept buried deep down inside of her, and she became hard like stone. And time passed, and the girl changed. She grew up. But people still said mean and cruel things about her. They still made fun of her, but it didn't bother her like it did before, because now she was tough. She was hard, like stone. And this girl was smart too. Woo, she was so smart. She read every book she could get her hands on. She was always the best student in her class. She read stories about people who were like her, people who were before her, people who endured, people who survived, people who suffered, people who started revolutions, people who were hard, like her. And this girl graduated from high school, the top of her class. Then she went on to college. And she lost someone who was very dear to her. Someone who too thought they were hard, but she continued. And she grew into the name that her mother gave her, the name that her grandmother gave for her. She realized that in spite of her hardness, that she was beautiful. And she had always been. And then this girl began to wonder if it was time for her to leave her home, the only home she'd ever known, the home that made her tough, that made her hard. And she realized that in spite of all of her hardness, she was scared. She was scared because although she had always dreamed of leaving this place, now she was uncertain if she could. So how am I doing so far?
So far.
Yeah. Story isn't over yet.
So what happens next?
Well, in my version, the girl decides that it is time for her to leave and find an adventure of her own. So she goes to a place called California. She goes to graduate school to study linguistics, the study of language, not languages. She studies words. She becomes a doctor of words. And she writes books. And she gives speeches. And she becomes a teacher. And she travels the world. And no matter how far away this girl is from home, she's never lonely. Because deep down inside of her are buried all the stories that she read as a child. And all the stories that were told to her as a child. She keeps it deep in her. The stories of her people. The good and the bad. The history of her people. And she tells those stories to others. And she collects new ones. And no matter how far away this girl is from home, to teach a class, to give a speech, people will say, who is she? What did she, where is she from? But she will say,
I am Bettina Smith, and I am from Flint, Michigan.
well, that's the story. What do you think?
I've heard better.
Well, you know, it can have a different ending, but that's your choice to make. Well, I guess you better do it.
Actually, I might stay here a little longer.
You want me to leave?
You don't mind?
I'll do some of my best thinking right here in this spot.
It really was a great story.
I know. One of my best.
Flint. I have hated you for so long. But I've tried my best to love you too. Do you love me? Because you rarely show it. Why do you hate so much? Why do you keep taking innocent lives? When will you get your act together? Are people right about you? Has your time come and gone? Am I letting you down? Will you forgive me if I go?
We want to
I am Flint.
I am your friend. I am your mother.
Your father, your brother, your teacher,
I am your history.
your memories, the good and bad. I am Flint.
What should I do?
Go.
Speak of my loveliness and my despair.
Tell my story. Be proud, tenacious, dangerous,
Or stay.
You are Flint.
I am Flint.
You are Flint. You are authentic.
Authentic.
You are courageous.
Courageous.
You are electric.
Electric. I will. You will. Will you? Will you?
Hi everyone. What might Flint's future look like? This community has endured a lot over the last few years and months, but we're still here. And despite what many may think, we're not going anywhere. For this next moment, we'd like you to pick up the card that you was given at the start of our performance. Now we'd like you to turn that card over. You'll see that it has the same image on both sides. On the blank space on the reverse of the card, we'd like you to write a word that you hope that will be used to describe Flint in the future. In 5 years' time, 10, 50, you get the idea? Take as long as you need. There are no wrong or right answers here. Once you have your word written on your card, please share it with us. One of my friends and I will add it to our rock. Thank you. So let's start on this side. Does anyone have a word? Just shout it out.
Majestic.
Majestic.
Anyone over here? Talented. Resilient.
Here?
Inspiring.
Say that again. Communitarian. Communitarian.
Transform.
Transform.
It's my city.
My city.
My city.
Progressive.
My city.
Improve.
Improve.
Talk about.
Talk about.
Educated.
Educated.
Helping. Surprising.
Nice. Surprising city in America. Resurrected. Resurrected.
Challenging.
Engaged.
Engaged. Nice. Prosperous. Courageous. Courageous.
Courageous. Real. Real.
Okay, everyone. If you didn't get the chance to share your word with us, we'd still like to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll still like to hear from you. On your way out the theater today, you'll be able to pin your card with your word on the board in the lobby. And if you like, you can share your most blank city statement on social media. You can tweet it, or you can post it on Facebook, along with the hashtag of Flint Youth Theatre and Most Blank City. Thank you so much.
I've grown up in this city my entire life, but I live in a part of town that most people like to pretend doesn't exist. The throwaway zone. That's what one of my teachers called it once. When I was younger, I rarely left my neighborhood, except of course to go to school. When I was really little, like still in elementary school, I used to be able to walk down my street, and there was my elementary school, and the playground next door. Oh, and just a few doors down was my best friend Jose's house. My house, my school, the playground, and Jose's house were my entire world. The school is closed now, so little kids in my neighborhood have to go to a school miles away from their home. Jose and his family moved a long time ago. When I turned 13, I got a bike for my birthday. It was a little big for me at first, but my dad said that was okay, because I would grow into it. But the thing was, when I sat on it, Even with the seat all the way down, my feet could barely touch the pedals. So to begin with, I was only allowed to ride it around my street. I couldn't go very far because I couldn't even ride the thing properly. But that bike gave me my first taste of freedom. Just riding it down the street or 1 block from my house felt like an adventure. By the time I started high school, I had finally grown. So because I could, actually ride the thing, I began to venture a little further outside of my neighborhood. I'd ride to school when the weather was good, and on the weekends, sometimes I'd ride the bike trails along the river. Sometimes I'd ride all the way out to Stepping Stone Falls and just sit there and listen to music. I loved riding my bike because I got to see things that I never knew existed in this city. Beautiful things, beautiful parks and architecture, nature, murals, colors. It was only then that I noticed what my neighborhood really looks like. I guess I didn't really have anything to compare it to before. And let me tell you something. My neighborhood is ugly, like really nasty. I guess at some point most people stopped caring about it. Now everyone is used to it looking that way. Don't get me wrong, I love my neighborhood. Well, I love the people. Most of the people. Anyway, I just wish that other people could see it the way I do. I wish that people could love it the way I do. And they might take better care of it, But now that I ride my bike more, and I get to see all of these things and places, I see what it does for my spirit. I know that sounds kind of dumb, but just seeing these things makes me feel better. I began to wonder what it would be like to live in a place, to grow up in a place full of beautiful places and things, like outside of Flint, Maybe that's why people here are always so angry, always shooting up places. Because their spirit is simply a reflection of what they see around them. I know. People say a lot of bad stuff about Flint. And hey, so do I. But it isn't all bad. And whenever I get the chance, I try to tell people about the things that I see when I'm riding my bike. I'm in this group, Culturas del Sol. It's a Mexican dance group, and we perform at a lot of events and stuff in and around the county. Well, last year we went to this thing in Fenton, and I was talking to some people there, because I'm a friendly guy, right? And I mentioned I was from Flint, and this idiot starts saying all this stuff. I'm sure you know the kinds of things I'm talking about. Why do these people think it's okay to constantly treat Flint as a punching bag? And so I try to be polite, and I tell him I disagreed with what he was saying. But then he goes and says, well, I bet you can't even name 10 good things about Flint right now. And I was like, I bet I can. And I got to 7, I think, before I just blanked. I guess the pressure got to me or whatever, but on the bus home, I got really mad at myself. If I had just thought of 3 more things, I would have put that pendejo in his place. So that's when I decided I needed to make a list. I bought this at a craft fair at the farmer's market. It's got a little bike on it, so I thought that would be a good fit for my list, right? So now whenever I'm riding my bike around the city, sometimes I'll just stop, and I'll make a list of as many beautiful things as possible. At first it was just things, like actual physical things that I observe with my eyes. But then the list started to change, and I think it was because the way I was looking at my city changed. I wrote down anything that I thought was beautiful. Things I saw people doing, people's actions, So I started to tell people about my list, and they would give me their own suggestions, and I would add them. So now, I'm just waiting for someone to ask me to name 10 good things about Flint. Because you know what I'm going to say? I got almost 200 of them right here. You want to hear some? Form our nature preserve. Applewood Estate, the trees in Mock Park, Bluebell Beach Forest Park, the Flint Public Library, El Potrero, River Paint Park, Glenwood Cemetery, the Farmers Market, the Verner's Mural downtown,
Walking to the Cultural Center from my home on Wisconsin Avenue.
the Art Walks,
Seeing shows at the Whiting.
Empress in China.
The Weather Ball.
The Sloan Museum.
The Institute of Arts.
The Innocent for Children.
the new bike trails at Chevy Commons,
Lawrence Street and Welch Boulevard.
The Church Without Walls.
I am
Flint.
Hearing the words of Shakespeare in the
Roses playing
summer
in parking lots.
I am hopeless. I create.
I am tired and driven.
I am angry. And diverse.
I am shrinking
And growing.
I am over it.
And resilient.
I am frustrated.
And proud.
I am unruly and colorful.
I am hopeless.
And vibrant.
I am
The big
miserable.
maple tree in my front yard.
how in adversity we come together.
I am
The
gorgeous spirit of the people. Flint.
Using my age, like art therapy kind of stuff as a support group, and